everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. The winding road to the Super Bowl continues here in the divisional round, where two teams look to take another step towards the Super Bowl. It's the Jaguars going up against the Steelers.
Larry, despite the elements, these fans here in Western Pennsylvania, they wouldn't dream of missing this one as you get a look inside snowy Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Straight ahead, we punch the second of two tickets to the AFC title game, and we've got a great one in store between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers. For a berth in the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Coming off the bye week, here come the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. Ben Roethlisberger, he's actually had a couple of weeks off. He sat out week 17. Some other starters did as well on this side of the ball, but finished 5th in the league in passing, Charles, in the regular season. 4,251 yards for Big Ben.
And he has so many guys that he can move the ball around to, which helped him accumulate that total. I don't worry about rust with him coming off of, a little bit of a layoff to go play. He knows how to get past that. He's a veteran. But now he'll get Antonio Brown back for the playoffs out wide. Juju Smith-Schuster's been a marvel as a rookie. Jesse James, a pretty darn good tight end for him. And, of course, he can always dump it off to Le'Veon Bell. Not bad for Big Ben, and I expect him to play well throughout the playoffs.
On second down, here's Roethlisberger. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's third down. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. Here's the first carry for Le'Veon Bell. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. It was just 3rd down and short, but he'd been off a little extra.
I would say way more than he could chew, but he chewed up all that yardage in a big way. And that, to me, that was a combination of offensive line, stacked defense, and they handled it. Okay, they got the leverage, they got the blocking angles, and opened up a nice crease. And once you get past that first wave, there's room to roam.
And that's just the 3rd play from scrimmage. They wanted to avoid that 3-and-out. They did. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Same result as last play, 14 yards and another first down. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things.
Well, there was no blitz. That was just a draw play that, to be frank, didn't fool anybody.
Did we hear the entire stadium screaming draw? Because it felt like everybody was all over that play, and the defense won that battle.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. And his kick is good. Not by much. It was leaking oil in the end, but he tucks it in the bottom right corner. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So the opening drive for them here on their home turf results in a field goal.
Now that's the way you want to get things started. Your stadium, your crowd, you've got the ball. Put points on the board first and let everyone start to celebrate.
Leading the Jags out of the field is a man who's officially 1-0 as a starter in the playoffs, and that's Blake Bortles. Now, he only threw for 87 yards, and you mentioned it to me off air. We talked about it. He ran for more yards than he threw for. Hey, they got the win. 10-3 wasn't pretty, but a win is a win is a win.
You're exactly right, and if you accentuate the positive of what we saw, he knew the right times to take off, use his legs to their advantage, pick up key first downs, key yardage, and helped his team out. Yeah, he didn't throw the ball particularly well. He's 12 of 23, as you mentioned, 87 yards. But those 88 rush yards were huge. And the bottom line for a quarterback is finding ways to win the game. So we can criticize him all we want about his throwing, and he'll need to improve that as he continues to move forward. But remember this, they picked up the fifth-year option on him. So for everyone thinking that Blake Bortles might be on his way out, let's wait and see. There may be some competition, but Blake Bortles could easily be the quarterback going forward for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it's a second down.
Brandon, more and more offenses are going to the philosophy of using every inch of the field to try and spread things out. And when you're running back and catch the ball as well, that can only help your offense.
Now Bortles throwing on second down. Looking for Hearns, and it's intercepted. Picked off. It's the Pro Bowl corner, Joe Hayden with it. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six for a Steeler touchdown.
Now that was a beautiful play. A pick six. How would you punctuate something like that, partner?
What do you mean, with an exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark, a big word. What would you do with that?
Ampersand?
I like it.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. To return it is Corey Grant. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. After the pick six, they go right back to the air. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side, but for lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. But Fournette was really bottled up last week against the Bills. 21 carries, 57 yards. At front seven, though, they were strong.
They really were, and it's tough to run against what Buffalo presented. But if you just keep giving Leonard Fournette carries, things tend to work out. Remember earlier in the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who they were end up playing in the playoffs, he had 181 yards. This guy went over 1,000 yards in just 13 games as a rookie. Leonard Fournette's an absolute force and is only going to get better.
The yardage total second highest by a Jags rookie. Alongside the former defensive back Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Jaguar football as we begin quarter number 2. They're staring up at a 3rd and 9 to start it out. Bortles now to throw. Flushed out right. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Brad Nortman on to punt it away. Back deep for the Steelers, Antonio Brown. And that's blocked. The Steelers get it. It's picked up, and this is a live ball, remember. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
However form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. First and goal from the 8. Now Roethlisberger to throw. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip-tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the sizzle. He just had no steak.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, plays like that, you at least expect a first down. They're just 1 yard. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to...
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Le'Veon Bell, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
Well, they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker, this has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
That'll be taken in the end zone. Bust through the tackle. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Jaguars getting set to go. Bortles now on 1st down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down right near the 39. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
From the gun on third down, Bortles. A dump off for Ivory. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
The veteran tight end Mercedes Lewis, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And he'll go down at the 28. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't
they? Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Larry Ridley at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
To return, it's Cam Sutton. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out come the Steelers. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? Jumpy on the right side of the line.
Sometimes when you're on the end, a little bit farther away from the ball, any type of movement will get you to jump, and that's exactly what happened there.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger to the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll be second down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ikey's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Throwing on first down is Bortles. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Javon Hargrave forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. A final shot before half for Bortles. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. Hold that thought, Mr. Ridley. We've got a trip to the title game on the line. Folks are eager to get right back to the action. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. On 3rd and long, it's Bortles. Looking long for Westbrook. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mike Mitchell, and they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days. Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball, and then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure that you just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. Again, it's Bell. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now Ben on 3rd and long. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Illegal forward pass, offense.
So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. You've got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finish.
Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Javon Hargrave forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off. It's the Pro Bowl corner, Joe Hayden, with it.
Blake Bortles simply cannot keep putting his team, putting his defense in these types of predicaments. He's got to take care of the football.
And last season, a lot of the turnovers, just like this one, in Jags territory, 11 of the 16 really put them in a tough spot in plus territory for the opposition. They'll try and get the running game going with Bell. And able to get about 3 as he's taken down right at the 20.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. Over the middle here to Brown. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Roethlisberger hooking up with Brown to get the Steelers a first. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. Stops short. Down at the 1. Had the broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
This is Bell. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Steelers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this is caught. Mercedes Lewis with a grab. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time? Hopefully with a chance to win.
Bortles going to run the draw with Fournette. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. Bortles going to throw. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Throwing now is Bortles. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, you know, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
They'll go again with Bell. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And look out, I think he's going to go. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell, just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, you know, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And following the pick 6, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
After the penalty, it's Bell. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. On the counter, here's Bell. And he's got some space here. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the fourth quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
They'll run it with Bell. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger to the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 4th down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, did a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. On 1st down, Bortles. And they'll get him down up past the 15. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a 1st down.
We always hear from coaches how much they like to run crossing routes because they want to hit their receivers on the go, get them the ball, and keep them moving. How about when you hit a tight end that way? Okay, the receivers are going to run past you most of the time. The tight end, they can do their damage a different way, break a few tackles and really scatter some people, can't they?
On 2nd down, here's Bortles. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Working from the gun, it's Bortles. Underneath to Ivory. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall right on the 30-yard line. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go in the football game. So the offense has it 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Bortles. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off around the 37, and a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
Obviously disappointing, but you had to go for broke here, down 2 scores. So that forced you to make some throws you definitely wouldn't want to make. And I think this interception is going to pretty much write an end to this one.
They go to a knee here, and with that, it's on to the AFC title game. And we're hitting the end of this one, and it looks to probably be the final play. And looking at it from the perspective of the losing side here in this divisional round, it all ends so abruptly, doesn't it? A few hours ago, you've got all this hope and anticipation of maybe a deep run, and now you're out of it.
Well, let's applaud the team that won, and rightly so. They're moving on. They still have a chance to get to the big game. But let's not bury the team that lost. I think I do a lousy job of illuminating what a great year they had. Let's face it, when it's all said and done, they were one of 8 teams left with a chance to get to and win the Super Bowl. That's a pretty darn good season.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from Heinz Field.